That's right, everybody. It's Pro Tour time. Welcome to Seattle. Pro Tour Return to Ravnica is upon us. Rich Hagan, Pro Tour historian, Mr. Brian David Marshall, with you to take you through some of the top players we're going to see on display this weekend. But BDM, what are they going to play? What magic have we got in store over the next 3 days?
I mean, as you well know at home, since you have been sitting glued to your computer all week playing Magic Online.
Indeed.
Or on the weekends going to your local game store and playing in launch party events, or we're in San Jose playing in the Grand Prix, Return to Ravnica is out.
Yep.
And so this is going to be the first time we're seeing Return to Ravnica in the modern format in a big event. And we're going to play Modern, Draft, with Return to Ravnica, Draft, and then Modern again.
So it's 5-3-3-5.
Going into a top 8, which is, of course, Modern, and hopefully with lots of new Return to Ravnica cards in it.
Okay, so there are lots of ways you could have been here. Lots of different ways to qualify. And what we've done is we're going to highlight some of those with BDM here, looking at the different ways that you can qualify for a Pro Tour and some of the big names that have made it in the different ways. So where do we start, BDM? Let's have a look at the big wall.
When we start round 1 tomorrow, we're going to be starting probably in a feature match with Masashi Ueso.
Okay.
Incoming Hall of Famer. He's not a Hall of Famer yet. He's a Hall of Famer elect until tomorrow morning.
Right.
So it doesn't count as a Hall of Famer. Patrick Chapin, Paulo Vitor Damarosa, Masashi Ueso, Kenji Samura, all getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. We're going to do it live on camera. You're going to get to see the ceremony.
Great.
Streaming.
Yep.
And Masashi Ueso, just one of the great players. So he's here by virtue of his Hall of Fame induction.
Okay, so he is not yet a Hall of Famer.
He's not yet a Hall of Famer.
What about this guy?
Well, this guy is the very definition of the Pro Tour Hall of Fame. This is John Finkel, of course. John is coming off 3 consecutive, huge events with Sunday finishes, 2 Pro Tours, and the Players' Championship. He's been playing since the first Pro Tour, and he's probably playing as good Magic as he's ever played in his career.
I'm not sure anyone has top-aided 3 successive Pro Tours. He's in line for that. I mean, that's the kind of history we're talking about this weekend for him, possibly. Let's move on. Let's see who else we've got. Our next pair, here we go. Wah! Okie doke, wasn't expecting that.
We didn't see this face actually a lot last year, right?
We did not, that's true.
So one of the ways you can qualify for a Pro Tour is by finishing top 25 at the previous Pro Tour.
All right, and this is Brad Nelson from Star City Games now. I literally wrote the book on him, and he had a bit of a crisis of confidence last year. He's honest enough to say he felt that he not quite sabotaged himself, but that he was struggling with his own game, but he's back on top of his game. Expect a big performance from him, for sure, top 25. And then another top X, this is top 4 from the World Magic Cup, Mateusz Kopech, from Poland. Poland really on a tear at the moment. A big country. Tomek Pedrakowski is a pro right now. Grand Prix winner, Vienna 2008.
And Pedrakowski also here he's also a top 4 World Magic Cup as a teammate of Mateusz.
Absolutely. So top 25 at a previous event, top 4 World Magic Cup.
Which, by the way, is a route to the Pro Tour, is that you can actually get to the Pro Tour through your local game store by going to a World Magic Cup qualifier, qualifying for the team. I mean, it's not an easy road.
No, but it does go through Amsterdam next year, which is quite a nice weekend out, we've heard. Let's move on. Our next pair, 2 more ways to qualify. I've spent a lot of time with this guy the past weekend, because this is Paul Rietzel, Mr. Boros, and as Lucas Xiao, the Canadian, in the final of Grand Prix San Jose last weekend said, if we can't beat him before Boros comes out, what's it going to be like when Gatecrash turns up?
Yeah.
So, just fantastic.
So Paul's up on the big board by virtue of being a Platinum Club member. There's a long list of those. Those are the players who've done really well. They've accumulated 45 pro points coming into the season. And as a result, they're qualified for everything. Okay. They get invited to, they get appearance fees.
Meet the Queen.
Yes, it's really like the elite class of the game.
So you've got basically 2 Platinum Pros up here, right?
I don't here. This is Gudenis Vidaguris. This was just a heartbreaker for him last year. Pro Tour Avison restored, and he was on the brink of having it all, right? He goes into his quarterfinals, and he can get to Platinum. He can lock up a Players' Championship spot. He can, everything. And he loses to Alexander Hayne. Alexander Hayne is the guy who gets to write that Cinderella story.
Sure.
And Gudenis ends up with gold. So I'm really interested to see what happens this year for Gudenis Vidagiris with a gold membership in the club. So he gets invited to all the events.
Yeah.
He's got his buys for things. He's in great shape, but it's not quite as easy as it is when you have platinum.
I still imagine a lot of very good things in that man's
Well, I mean,
future.
he's a player who just keeps showing up at the top tables at events, and someone that I always watch to see what he's playing, and because we might want to get Sam Black in for a deck tech.
Absolutely. Fair. All right. Now, the next two, these are the more obvious routes, I guess, because this is all about actually getting in through you've got qualifiers, Pro Tour qualifiers, but you've also got more top X's. This is a top 4, or in the case of Bo Li of China, a top 1, because this is the winner of Grand Prix Shanghai 2012.
He's someone who won. He won the World Team Championships a couple years ago.
That's right. Yep.
In Worlds.
Yep. Rome 2009. So he is there, and then this guy over here. Now this is sponsors exemption. This is Stephen Murray. So the deal with the sponsors exemption, you think, how do I get one of those? Well, that's all about being a leader in your community. Stephen Murray, tremendously well known and liked in Scotland. He goes to all the PTQs. He's always making top 8s. Scotland, of course, made the top 8 of the World Magic Cup. So the sponsors exemptions, they're kind of for people right on the cusp of maybe they're about to be pro and they might just need a tiny nudge in the right direction.
It's kind of like there's a top 2 in this PTQ, a top 5 in that Grand Prix, and 26 at that Pro Tour.
Yep.
Equal, I should be at the next Pro Tour. And then there's a committee of people who decide, well, he wasn't a jerk, and those things happened.
Yep.
Sounds great.
Yeah. He woke up one morning to find Facebook friends going, hey, congratulations. And he's like, good one, boys. Thanks for that. Enjoyed that joke. And then he checked his email. I was like, I am going to Seattle. Pretty exciting morning for Stephen Murray.
So now most of the ways we've discussed so far are really kind of like, going to a Grand Prix and succeeding in a field of 2,000 people,
Sure.
or, being like banging away on the Pro Tour and having some success and
Right.
getting invited to come back. But really for most of you at home,
It's probably about half the field, isn't it, that just goes to a, clues in the name, Pro Tour qualifier. Right. Let's see what the qualifiers
two
look
players who've won Pro Tour qualifiers. Magic Online qualifiers happen, but there's like 16 of them every season.
Yep. And I think they kind of max out at 768 players. I think that's how it works generally. This is Dan Gardner from England, part of the group with the Orsini Jones brothers. Marco, a mainstay of Magic Online, also grew up around Richard Bland, of course, runner-up from Worlds. Very, very good player, but maybe a little rusty, we don't know. But if you win a Magic Online PTQ, that shows you are of the moment.
Absolutely. Well, Ben Seck just won a Magic Online PTQ.
That's right, yeah.
And he did it during pre-release weekend. So he actually he's like, this is awesome. I'm really good at winning 250-person events.
Fantastic. And who have we got here? Very young looking.
Yeah, this is way, we haven't seen a lot of him lately. This is Jeffrey Cerrone. Jeffrey Cerrone is one of the only 2 players to 9-0 Sunday at a Pro Tour. It's Pro Tour London. He won the Pro Tour. In fact, we were watching Masashio Iso, who we saw on our very first slide.
Yeah.
That was where our hero camera was for the draft. We watched Masashio Iso and we were like, wow, that's a lot of really good red cards going that way. What happened to them? Who got those? And it was Jeffrey Cerrone. He got a mono red deck or nearly mono red deck and just burned his way through the top 8. Pro Tour winner. He's 2004 Worlds. He was in the top 4 of the World Team Championship.
Yep.
Just won a physical PTQ. That's an online PTQ. This is a meat space PTQ.
Sat down with a chair.
Yeah.
Tables, sleeves, all that old-fashioned
Pants.
stuff. Anyway, that's just 10 of the ways you could have been here. But we're very glad you're there joining us for all the fun of Pro Tour Return to Ravnica. Modern, draft, can't wait, 19 rounds, 3 days, all live. Him, me, bye.